up in rural Vermont, it was always a really nice treat to make the 40-minute drive to Albany, New York. It was our city, and we were proud of it. And they had something that Vermont didn't have: skyscrapers. And ever since, I've been fascinated by them, especially the Corning Tower. It's always held a special place for me. It was the first skyscraper I ever saw. It's February 7th, 2008, and I'm in Albany, New York, about to run up the Corning Tower, 42 stories high, as part of the cystic fibrosis Run Up the Corning. February 7th, that's 2 days after February 5th, which is when I ran up the Empire State Building, so my legs are still pretty spent from that race, but since Albany is so close to my home in Vermont, it's only about 40 minutes away, I thought, you know, I can't not do this race. I think the record is 5 minutes flat, so I'm gonna see if I can go under 5 and be in the 4-minute range. That's my goal today. Another reason I came over here is there's some people that have been watching the videos on my site that are going to do this race. And I'm really excited to meet them and hear their stories and hear how raw food has impacted them.
Hi, my name's Eddie Haybeck. I'm from Ghent, New York. This is going to be my first stair climb race ever. Kind of excited, kind of nervous. I don't really know what to expect. I was in the corridor here and I bumped into Tim and I recognized him from some snowshoe races, which I also just started to get into. People thought I was nuts for trying snowshoe racing, but this, I kind of wanted to show that I could do something sillier than race on snowshoes. So that's kind of why I'm here today.
Nice. So what do you think of the whole idea of eating a raw diet, raw food or vegan food, or what are your impressions of that?
Well, I am not 100% decided. I grew up on a pretty, meat diet, but I actually prefer to eat wild meat. My dad's a hunter, and I eat a lot of venison. That's the type of meat that I prefer to eat. I'd rather stick away from supermarket type stuff if possible. I figure if I'm going to eat a meat, this is the best way to do it.
How would you rate your fruit and vegetable intake? Do you eat a lot of fruits and veggies, or?
A lot of fruits and veggies.
Is it important to you to eat organic food, or is that not really a consideration?
I try to if I can. A lot of times, for cost reasons, I don't get too much into it. Kind of living on a budget, so I do what I can. I'd like to eat more organic, and I try to when I can.
So what's your prediction for your time today?
I have no idea. I saw on the website, I guess 2 years ago the winning time was 5 minutes and 1 second. So if I can finish, I don't know, slightly above that, I would be pretty happy.
Hi, my name is Lauren Warren. I am 41 years old, and I'm very excited to be here meeting Tim Van Orton for the first time. Running Raw, I've been a fan for the last couple of weeks on his site. He does an amazing job with the site, lots of videos, especially for Raw newbies. Started going Raw about 3 years ago and had a phenomenal experience with it. Started to detox a little bit and had an illness that I was just really coming back from, and thought, oh, I really want to have a good season. So the detoxing was a little nervous for me, so I backed off a little bit, but I definitely knew it was the way to go. 2 months ago, going Raw again, feeling amazing, starting to have some detoxing again going on, a little bit of rapid heart rate, but all things that I'm comfortable with this time, and it's not so scary, thanks to people like Tim. Going on the site and seeing his clips and his excitement about it really just helps so much. I've been diagnosed with a very rare genetic disorder I've had for 28 years, had a heart attack at the age of 23, come back and have competed in Ironman very successfully. I'm diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder called porphyria, affects the liver. Things trigger the condition and it shuts my nervous system down, shuts my heart down, shuts my breathing down. Unfortunately, there's not enough known or put out there about the nutrition end of things, and most people end up becoming diabetic and having some serious illnesses. So my personal mission is to prove that the liver functions and acts differently on a raw food diet than it does on a cooked diet, and so far I'm doing really, really well. I'm keeping the attacks at bay and just very excited about it all.
How many people with your condition are athletic? Is it rare for someone?
Zero. The condition, most people are on disability and really aren't functioning very well at all, but there is no other athletes out there that I know of that have this condition, so I'm quite a rarity.
Do you think being raw allows you to be more athletic with this condition?
I definitely do. I've noticed that doing my raw smoothies in the morning, it's vital that I have food going into me pretty much 24/7. And the smoothies are wonderful because they're the perfect carbohydrate-sugar ratio. The hemp seeds are the perfect protein.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Michelle Yasin. I am a 48. Oh my 48. I don't keep track of these.
You don't look
things.
48, it's fine.
Year-old triathlete. Did my first Ironman last year and started feeling a little fatigued. I've been diagnosed at one time with hypothyroidism. I would say that the first time in my adult life that I felt consistently warm has been on a raw diet. So I am also losing weight effortlessly for the first time in my adult life. And going raw has been great for me.
Since I'm a newbie at this whole thing, I thought I would take Tim's advice. He said, you know, go out slow for the first 2 floors and then kind of settle into your pace and you'll see how you feel at that point. So that's what I did, and it got hard pretty quickly. So, but it felt good. The beginning was easy. The middle, I kind of blacked out, I think. And then the end, I kind of gained consciousness and finished up.
What hurt the most?
Probably just about all of it, I'm guessing. But my mid-back started to hurt, and that hurt a lot, and my throat got really dry too, as Tim warned me about. So he gave me some good advice, definitely.
I finished the race and had a total blast. It was so much fun. If you'd have done this a few minutes ago, could not have been speaking like this. I was coughing my brains out. Tim was kind enough to give me a few tips as he speedily passed by me. Felt a nice breeze as he went by. Had a fantastic time. One thing I didn't get to say about the raw fooding is pretty miraculous for me is that I am sleeping like a baby through the night. I used to have to get up like 4 or 5 times a night to pee with my condition, and I am sleeping soundly through the entire night, which means I am so much better rested.
Are you going to do another one of these races?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I am hooked.
David Trump, I'm 32. I'm from Glenmont, which is 5 minutes south of here. I've been doing this stair climb for 6 years in a row. My first time was 7.5 minutes, and my previous best was 5:01. And today I set the course record at 4:44.
Awesome.
So,
excellent.
I feel all right, but the lungs take the brunt of it, and the legs are tight, but it's okay. But
right,
to
now,
do the Empire State Building,
yeah, I'm gonna get your shirt here. All right, so how long ago was the Empire State Building?
Yeah, 57 hours ago or something like that.
And how did you do there? What was your time?
18th overall, 12:48.
They lined us up by number, and I'm number 142, which means that there were 141 people in the stairwell in front of me moving very slowly. Well, they weren't all moving slowly, but a lot of them were, and I had to pass people constantly, and sometimes they were, you know, 2 side by side, and I couldn't get around them, and I'd have to walk at points. But when I got to the point of 10 floors to go, I looked down at my watch, and it was getting close to 4 minutes, and I'm like, oh man. So I tried to sprint the last 10 floors, but there were just way too many people in front of me, and I had to do a lot of walking towards the finish, because there were just like 3 people wide at some point, really slowing me down. So I managed to finish in 4:54, which was 6 seconds under the record, but a gentleman, David Trump, did 4:45 and beat me by 9 seconds. He had number 1, so he was the first guy out, so he didn't have anybody in the stairwell ahead of him. But still, he's a very good athlete. He got the record, so he's excited about this. We're gonna let him have this one. And, you know, I got 2nd place, that's not so bad. I broke the record, even though I don't own the record, at least I was under it, so we represented for raw food.
The overall winner of the 30 to 39 males is David Trump. The winner of the 40 to 49 bracket is Lauren Warren. 7 minutes and 2 seconds.
All right. We got 2nd and 3rd. We're raw food, and we rock.